Isn't that crazy?
Mm-mm. That made her happy. And introduce yourself.
I am Twabich. I'm her daughter. Her oldest daughter. Middle child, though. Kwanzaa, for me, was my holiday. It's the only holiday that I had for a long time. Whenever I was growing up, I'm not saying that in a sad way, in a happy way. Because I know, I didn't realize even until I got older, people don't celebrate Kwanzaa. People don't even know what Kwanzaa is. Like a lot of people, they don't take it serious. It's something to be respected, even, you know? I feel bad for those people. A holiday about us as Afro people, whether we are African or misplaced in the US, you know, Afro Latina or Afro natives. Like, it's just about us as people of color, black people, celebrating our heritage no matter what it is, because that's what it's about. It's about how diverse we are. We're all so different, but we're all the same. That's what Kwanzaa is to me.
Sisters and brothers, Ujima's whenever we help each other by working together.
Yay, it's working. I know this is, what are we eating, my darling?
A veggie combo with croaker.
And this is what kind of food?
Oh, it's Ethiopian food.
Ethiopian food. I'm eating with that's my daughter. Yay. Happy Kwanzaa. Oh, because I have it on here. There we go. Maybe I should get a hijab or something, huh?
Did you get your hair cut yet?
All right. Excuse my daughter. There we go. Story time. This is our Kwanzaa mukbang. So, share with us one of your fondest memory of Kwanzaa as a child.
What I liked about Kwanzaa was that's when everyone would come over. You know?
When everyone would come over?
Yeah, because we didn't celebrate Christmas. So it was like, that's when everyone we knew would come over.
Was it like a daily thing? So tell me what you because some people who are watching this never celebrated Kwanzaa, have no idea, and for the first time they're introducing Kwanzaa to their children. What was your most favorite thing to do during the holiday, outside of, you know, just people coming over? That was fun though. A lot of people were over at the house.
I mean, that's what I remember. Mostly just like playing and stuff, to be honest.
Playing?
You know?
So it was fun for you?
Yeah, it was fun to be around other Afro children, let me say it like that, you know, because I was at school, but not a lot of people understood at school like how I was raised, you know.
Well, are you saying you weren't going to school with other African children born in America, or no? It was a cultural difference.
Yeah, it was a cultural difference.
What was the difference between the kids that you were going to school with versus, you know, the kids that you would interact with during Kwanzaa?
The kids I went to school with, I feel like I wasn't raised in a way, like I wasn't raised in white America, I guess. You know, like I was, obviously, but
obviously
I wasn't aware. We're in
America KKK.
I wasn't aware of it as much, you know, because that wasn't the forefront of my daily life. It was like a lot of black teachings and.
What do you mean black teachings?
Like knowledge of my own culture and history, which most people don't have or know.
So Was Kwanzaa one of the events that you were looking forward to?
Kwanzaa and my birthday.
So did you end up with the Nguzo Sabas, right? And can you share with those who don't know what the Nguzo Sabas are?
It's like the themes of everything, right? Like
The 7 principles.
yeah, principles. Those words.
Mm-hmm.
Every day is a different principle that you learn about and celebrate and acknowledge.
So did you find that learning the 7 principles and acknowledging them every day? Because what we try to do, or what I try to do with my girls, was even throughout Kwanzaa, even after Kwanzaa was over with, we still would talk about and incorporate the 7 principles. Like I always kept like a little poster in the house with the 7 principles as a daily reminder. So did you find having those principles in your day-to-day life helpful as you were growing up, or you didn't much think about it?
I probably didn't think about it, but yeah, they probably did, you know, like, but yeah, it wasn't a conscious thing. I didn't look at it and be like, the principles when I thought about my day. But, you know, just like, that's how, you know, young people are, right? It's like, we don't know why we do things most of the time, but there's usually a reason, you know.
And so do you remember some of the principles? You know, Umoja,
Yeah.
Kujichagulia,
Yeah.
Ujama,
Yeah.
Ujima,
Ujima, yeah, like I know
Kuumba.
them, but and sometimes I forget like which means what. Sometimes, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like I recognize the names and I know like the meanings, but sometimes I can't remember which is like, you know, which.
And so it's good to have a reminder.
Yeah, I think that's the point, right, of the holiday.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I always kept I still have it up to this day. Actually, it's right behind us. Keep it up. So even for me, I tend to forget. So when I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. Now, what are some of the traditions in regards to like our culture that's important in regard to Kwanzaa?
Like the Kwanzaa flag and isn't it red, black, and green?
The African liberation flag.
Yeah. The like tradition of lighting the candle every day.
Mm-hmm.
And we set the table up, right? And they're like a certain way, like with the fruits or.
Mm-hmm.
And each day you're supposed to give a gift that correlates with one of the principles, right? I don't remember.
So when was the last time you celebrated Kwanzaa?
I'm sad to say I have not celebrated Kwanzaa since I lived in your house.
So mommy kept the tradition going?
Yeah. But this is like my first time even having my own house, you know? So, and like, yeah, you can celebrate Kwanzaa by yourself, but like a part of the point of it is
it's family oriented.
It's like about celebrating it with people. So it's like when I was living in New York, I'm not gonna celebrate Kwanzaa with my 2 Asian roommates or with Lee. You know, like she's not gonna get it.
Lee is her Caucasian friend, so she's not gonna get it.
Yeah.
So share a little bit about the food that we are eating, because one of the traditions of Kwanzaa is to immerse yourself in all things African.
My food.
Your food.
Yeah.
What do you mean your food?
This is my people's food.
Who's your people?
The Ethiopian people.
Oh, what tribe?
Well, that's up for debate, isn't it, right? I could say Habesha, but that's not completely true, right? Tigrayan? Am I Tigrayan?
Is that...
I look Tigrayan.
And what kind of food are we eating?
The vegetarian options. Vegetarian food. Available for Ethiopians, which is weird because they also eat a lot of meat. They eat raw meat. They suit everyone. Inclusive type of food.
But this is, a lot of times, this is like a holiday food when they're fasting, because when Ethiopian culture, when they fast, they still eat food, but it's more of a vegetarian option.
Yeah.
So, do you have one childhood memory that stuck out most for you?
That one that I think I should say out loud.
Messy, sorry, baby. It's my baby right
I don't
here.
think I should say it out loud.
Mm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, don't say that.
And like, I couldn't get them to stop.
Yeah.
That's like the last thing.
We're not gonna share that story.
Actually, I did do a Kwanzaa thing by myself.
And
I had a friend in high school who was he specialized in African drums actually, and you know, he was a music major, and he invited me to like this charity family event, public event, and he played like the drums. You know, they performed the drums,
mhm.
and you know, it was Kwanzaa themed, and they talked about the principles, and there was a lot of kids there actually.
Do you know how to drum?
Yes, I do.
A girl knows how to drum?
Mm-hmm.
Who taught you how to drum?
Nobody, because I wasn't supposed to.
I remember you all used to love to do the Kwanzaa song.
Is it a chanting song?
You know,
Or is it like an actual,
like the Kwanzaa songs, like I'm gonna have to pull out all my stuff for this girl. My child done forgot everything.
like it was a recorded song that we would listen to?
Yeah.
Or it was like
Kwanzaa. Okay.
Oh, wait. Say that again. Kwanzaa, go ahead.
I'm not singing. There would be songs. I would take them to the children's Kwanzaa events. We would go to the African dance.
Yes, I remember that.
We would go to the Kennedy Center
I feel like we would do stuff
every night.
that I didn't know it was for Kwanzaa. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
You know? That I just probably thought we were just doing stuff, you know? Because we would go to the
'Cause
Kennedy Center. and
There would
stuff
be
like
different things every night.
that. Yeah. So that's the point, right? You're supposed to approach Kwanzaa in your own way. There's not really a set tradition. There's set things that you can do,
Mm-hmm.
but it's about exploring your African heritage yourself.
What kind of gifts would I give you?
I don't remember gifts being that great. Like I said, it's supposed to be about whatever the day is about, so
I would
they
give
were
like books.
educational gifts.
Yeah, it was all educational and handmade stuff.
I like handmade stuff.
I would do like books, jewelry. You know, I would buy all African. I would always buy from African people. Would you celebrate Kwanzaa with your children?
Yeah, definitely. Talk to Jason about that sometime. Like, you know, if we were to hypothetically, because I don't want that anytime soon, have kids, I was like, that's like kind of a scary thing to think about. Like having kids with someone who's not a person of color. Like, you don't want your children to forget where they come from, you know? Like,
Well, that's where
you know, like,
the mother. Ooh, that pepper. That's when the mother comes into play.
yeah.
You are the first educator.
I have the Eve gene. The Eve gene. Do you know what that is? The Eve gene.
What's that?
It's like the gene where all other genetics come from. So, like, you know, I would be probably someone who would have that gene, you know? Blue eyes, blonde hair, they come from this. So it's supposed to be like anything can come from my genetics, basically. Or like, you know, that type of genetic. The Eve gene.
Like we can produce a white person.
Yeah.
We can produce a
anything.
black person. We can produce anything.
Yeah.
But white people can't produce us. But we can produce anything.
That's what it means.
This is my artsy child. Ethiopian food is so good. You eat with your right hand. And you kind of get everything in there. I'm going to show you all how to do it. And what's the one thing that every person should be aware of when they eat Ethiopian food?
Well, there's like no one thing. I think that you need to remember that etiquette is not an option. Number one.
Not
Like,
an option.
Yeah.
It's a requirement?
Yes.
And what are the etiquettes that are required?
You know, Americans or just Western people, European people, think they're the pinnacle of whatever elegance and, you know, proper, you know, being proper. And in reality, because like you eat with your hand, it's communal food, you have to be much more clean, like aware of how like you're eating, even like chewing. The big rule is basically hands clean, washing your hands, you're all sharing the same food. And then how you use your hands. When you eat Ethiopian food, you keep your left hand clean. You don't touch the food with your left hand. Your left hand is for checking your phone, drinking your water, you know, wiping your face, stuff like that. And your right hand is for eating. Also, when you pick up food, this is like, there's like a lot of little things. And if you're raised this way, you don't even think about it, you know? But there's like little things like you're supposed to pick from the edge of each food because, you know, I don't know if you could see what it looks like, you know, there's everything separate. You want to pick from the edge because you don't want to mix things together. So if you're picking straight from the top, you're going to be accidentally dropping other things into everything, you know? So say if this was not just veggie, but it was also meat, and I don't eat meat, you know, and someone's picking up food and dropping it into the vegetarian options. Also, kind of on that same thing, you want to pick from the least spiciest thing you're going to eat to the most spiciest thing. So that way, you're not picking up something hot and then dropping it in the milder food, say that like the 2-year-old can't eat or something like that. Yeah, there's like a lot of just little things that you don't even think about anymore if like, you know, been eating it for a while. Also like the injera, you don't waste the injera. We have the you know, the sheet, but there's injera wrapped around this whole dish, and it's rude to waste this injera because you can save that for next time. You can't save this one, you know? So as you eat, you see if you look at this plate, there's no injera. There's no injera on the bottom because you eat that. You eat everything. You know, like people in the world don't have food. Don't waste food. Oh yeah, you don't put your hands in your mouth, you know? You push it into your mouth. You don't need to, there's no reason. Don't do that. Oh my god. You will get slapped if you do that. Don't do that. Don't. Big no.
I remember an incident.
Yeah.
Can you share that incident? Oh,
one of my mom's friends.
A very nice lady.
Yeah, very nice lady.
She's more of a tradition of the West African.
Yeah.
But she loved Ethiopian food.
Yeah.
She loved my cooking. So I said I will cook
and
it for her.
And it's kind of sad because I'm like, I know she's had Ethiopian food before, so I was kind of felt like we should have corrected her.
I did.
Yeah, I didn't.
And let me just explain this real quick. This one here is usually the last to finish eating, and she eats everything.
Yeah.
My baby girl, when it came to Ethiopian food, she wasn't a big eater, but when it came to Ethiopian food, she would sit and eat a lot too.
We're eating and we're talking and we're all whatever. And I think I noticed first, she was picking up the food and like
her whole hand,
the whole thing, and like I was,
and then going,
and
I didn't notice,
and I was like,
and then
I stopped eating.
She was like, "I'm done," and I'm like, "Really?"
And she's like, "Really? Why?" and then Ainati, my little sister, she then was like, and did the same thing.
She was like, I'm done.
And we were
And
all
I'm
just
like,
kind of
what?
sitting around
And
the
I'm
table.
looking at my two girls like what? What? Y'all done? I was
Yeah.
so confused because they're never done. They don't stop eating because it was a lot of food until they finished.
Like we had
And
just
then-
started,
And
basically.
I went and ate, put
And
a
she was
mouthful,
like, and then my mom noticed.
and then I looked up and I saw her go,
not even just like the whole, like, it was like, I'm not a dramatic
saliva,
person.
like saliva dripping wet. And I was just like, and I had to correct her. I was like, sis, I said, you can't put your fingers in your mouth. We're all eating. I thought that would be common knowledge. And that was a lesson learned for me to educate people on etiquette when eating communally. She felt so bad. She felt so bad.
I'm trying to be respectful, you know, like.
And there were children. It was my
it wasn't my place to say
it was my responsibility, and I did. And she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry."
But I did want to be like, "What are you doing?"
And you was in high school.
Yeah,
that's right. You was in
school.
You were like maybe 9th grade, 10th grade, and Auntie was like
6th grade.
6th grade. So they were old enough to know the etiquette. They knew the etiquette.
Also, just not even etiquette. It was like, you know, like nobody eats like, or I guess like, do West African people?
Yeah, well, but I don't think it's communal food. So when they're doing the fufu and stuff,
it's just your food.
It's your food.
Yeah.
So it's different.
You know, it's like you see someone do that and then like back into it. You know, you don't want to eat that. I was like, oh my god.
So the etiquette is real. The nails are clean.
Yeah, don't have dirty hands. If an elder offers you food, I don't know if you noticed my mom earlier. She picked up the food and she fed it to me. You should never like decline those. We have a story actually. When we were in Ethiopia, the property we were staying on had like, you know, the head woman thing. And she said, "Come here, 12." And I came, but she tried to feed me like meat. Eat meat. Mind you, we're in Africa. This lady's English is not very good. So all she saw me do was go, no. Literally kept offering me angrier and angrier each time. No. No. And it was to the point where I was like, get someone who speaks English so they can tell her that I'm not trying to. Or no, English. That could understand me.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, so that they can tell her that I'm not trying to disrespect her, right? She was like, oh, but she's getting very upset with me. You know,
the tradition is you don't do that.
You take, like, when elders offer you food, in Ethiopia, it is traditional and, like, respectful to offer people coffee every time they enter your house. And it's not just like giving them coffee, it's like a small ceremony each time. That's what's like proper etiquette. You sit, special pot that we have, brew it. What's what I'm looking for?
It's like they roast it.
Yeah, they roast it for you. They do it. They do the whole process.
The incense and
but,
it's a whole.
It's all by. It's
a whole process. They pick their beans. You roast them.
Yeah, that was honestly one of the funnest things I did in Ethiopia. Was make coffee. Went to the coffee bush and I picked the coffee beans I wanted and I'd peel them, you know, cut them in half, roast them, grind them up. If I wanted to, I would go get goat's milk because, you know, I like my coffee with milk and the honey.
They used to give her coffee milk.
Goat's milk, honey, and just like a tiny bit of coffee. It's delicious though because it's so sweet, right? Yeah, that's what you do. Drinking coffee is kind of like, I guess in a way, it's like how the English offer each other tea. You know? It's like that. The social, what they do to be social over there.
So how was the food during Kwanzaa? We did a lot of Ethiopian food.
Most time, I feel like we had like potluck style, you know?
And I would try to make sure we always had like good food in the house through Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa's about, you know, practicing and doing things that are about like your Afro culture, right? So food, like, we got the best food. All Afro countries, best food, best clothes. I remember our home being always really like well decorated and beautiful. Oh, this wig is itchy. But
It's a wig. That's not her hair, y'all.
It's a wig. And I choose to make things mean what I want them to mean. You know what I mean? Like, we have Thanksgiving. We're not celebrating what we're told Thanksgiving's about. I celebrate Thanksgiving because I want to see my mom and my sister and my brother and eat really good food and talk to them and tell them I love them. I got a Christmas tree because I like lights. I like twinkly lights, especially in the winter where it gets dark early.
So she has a Kwanzaa tree. That's what she's telling us.
I like it. It brings me joy, right? And that's what life is about. Work on the feng shui of our houses, you know? Like, we both like our homes to be safe spaces that bring us joy.
I'm into protecting my energy.
Exactly.
During this Kwanzaa, you know, I also am very big into charity.
Like, I remember planting trees.
Because I will also send you all off to do charity by yourself. Necessarily not always with me. Like, we would have extra food. And we would get Martha's table. We would get in the car. Yeah. Well, this winter, I would like to create some kind of kit. Like,
a kit for people?
For people, like socks, gloves, toothbrush.
Yeah, I like to do charity. You know, like even when I was in New York, when I was at school, you know, and I would have my my meal plan for the cafeteria. At the end of the semester, I'd have usually all this money left on my meal plan, like, and they just get rid of it. It doesn't save, you know, and I get charged for it, and I can't like get that money back. So I would literally, my friends were struggling, but actually twice I would find like a homeless person, someone struggling, take them to my campus and let them max out my my meal plan.
Can you tell them how many homeless people I brought home before? It was always women, no men.
No. Quite a few.
I would bring homeless women home and let them shower and sleep, but the last one taught me a valuable lesson because she brought bed bugs.
Oh God, she did that?
Yeah. So I learned my lesson. So I was like, you know, no more bringing homeless women home.
That's not funny.
we had a long fight with that one. I used to meet homeless women, and I would feel so bad for them, especially during the holiday season in the winter. And I would just bring them home, let them shower, and let them sleep on my couch.
I'm still like that too, though. You know, like I always tell my friends, I'm like, if we're in the same city, there's no reason ever for you to not have something to stay. You know, don't walk all over me. You know, you can't just squat in here for no reason, and I won't ever make you feel bad about it. You know, I like taking care of people in a way that means something.
For those people who are just learning about Kwanzaa, and especially starting to celebrate Kwanzaa in an environment that we are in now.
What, like COVID?
What would be the first thing you would tell them, in regards to making it a memorable Kwanzaa for them and their children?
I would say research, plan it well. There is, like, it's undeniable there's an educational portion of Kwanzaa. Doesn't mean it can't be fun, you know. That doesn't mean it can't be fun, you know. And I think it shows when you put time and thought into something. You know, that's why, like, Christmas is kind of lazy to me, you know. It's like you buy a gift and that's it, and you sit around. Okay, so if you're just getting into Kwanzaa also like, if you're just getting into Kwanzaa, I'm assuming that you weren't raised, you know, knowing about your Afro culture, you know, or like you're not super familiar with it naturally, right? Because like for me, it's like so natural because I was raised this way. But if you're not like naturally inclined about it, You know, you need to be ready and research and think about it, because that's like the whole point. And you also can't you can't expect your children, if you have kids, to know about it and accept it easily, you know? Because why if I'm like, you know, a child and you want me to learn about all this stuff all of a sudden that I was never told was important, and maybe it doesn't sound fun, you know, and it's like, what, you know, like, why should I care about this? Because that's how kids are, right? Just really, like, again, like, I think planning ahead is the best thing you can do, and involving more people, you know. I think it's like always good to get like your family involved. And
So what kind of activities do you think would be fun? Like, I know like arts and crafts would be cool.
yeah,
Like, I know I would do story time with you
Yeah.
guys. I would read you all a book every night. African princesses, and we
Yeah.
would watch.
but
the
like for me,
movies.
mommy, I was like, I like to be read to. A lot of kids don't really like to be read to anymore.
Every night,
Yeah.
literally.
I like to be read to.
In Kwanzaa, I had to
But
get
I'd
really
say-
special books for Kwanzaa.
I say for kids, there's programs that you can watch together, you know what I mean? And not only watch it together, but insert maybe, like you said, like a craft in it, you know, like drawing something, you know, or like playing a game after. Like, you ever play those games where it's like, okay, tell me what happened here, or something like that, or draw me what happened, you know. I like to draw. Music, you know.
We used to do Kwanzaa games too.
Yeah.
All kinds of
Also,
games
the
you
thing
could
about
create.
Kwanzaa is there are traditions. So, like, you know, you're like, why do we have to make it fun, you know? Because we don't have to make Christmas fun, or we don't have to make, it just is. But the whole thing about Kwanzaa, and sadly, like, with a lot of, Afro holidays or traditions, is because we are making this up as we go along. A lot of it, you know? Like, we do have our set things, like the candles. We weren't given holidays that were taken serious in our history, you know? So you need to make traditions that your children are going to look forward to, or your family. You know, Kwanzaa, it's like, at this time we get, you know, we do our present for the day. Take the initiative to make this a holiday. Come up with these traditions that your family is going to want to get into, because we weren't given a guideline already of what it should be. So, and you'd be surprised what just like consistency and repetition, like for younger people, like, we like that.
I would pull out the decorations, and my girls would
Yeah.
get super excited. Like, can I decorate? Can I decorate?
Yeah,
So
it's just like small things like that, you know. Like,
Mhm.
you have to treat it like a holiday. Like, as Black people, if we want it to exist and be taken serious, we have to treat it like that, you know. Like, honestly, we need to be better, because we haven't celebrated together for a few years, and that's like happens with anyone. But again, like, we want our Kwanzaa like how everyone else has their Hanukkah, their Christmas, their own things. We need to treat it like it is, like we take it serious, you know, and get together and practice our traditions. Yeah, that's my advice. I guess we're all kind of learning as we go along.
Thank you, baby.
Love you too. Love you too.
All right, so this is Empress Kiddes. This is Princess Twabish. This is the Global Green Book. Thank you so much. Make sure you
What's
like
it called? The Global Green Book?
Global Green
That's a
Book.
good name. It's a nice name.
You see her face like, what you call?
That's a cool name.
Yeah. So this is the Global Green Book. Make sure you like, comment, share. This is our Kwanzaa Mukbang. And I hope you enjoy our walk back in time and of tradition. Thank you so much.
Bye.